Up next, we have Sagittarius rising and sun. For you, this Scorpio full moon happening on the 23rd is taking place in your 12th house, opposite the sun in Taurus in your 6th house. So, really, I feel like this is a time where many of us are becoming much more self aware. Scorpio full moons and just full moons in general, but especially in the psychological sign of Scorpio, helps us really understand kind of like what underpins our nature. Why are we motivated by what we're motivated by? Is there a fear there? Is there an excitement there? Is there a desire there? And I feel like this is very much the case with you guys at the time of this full moon. The 12th house is the hidden house, the house of the subconscious, the things that are typically unavailable to us to understand completely. And this is a rare moment of awareness, of lucidity, where we're able to really see the reasons behind why we might be going through some moments of kind of self-sabotage, which is a very 12th house topic, but not necessarily how you think of it. It's not like you're doing something crazy. I feel like you might be procrastinating with some of your work. I feel like there might be some things that your energy has pulled you back from. You have maybe felt I don't know, just like less certain about, or you haven't taken as much action on it. There's almost like this kind of resistance towards something, or you feel like something isn't progressing. Maybe you are taking action, but you're not seeing it move forward, and you're confused why energetically things are not flowing for you. So there's a sense of you guys maybe, I really feel like it's from you guys, particularly procrastinating. And the reason I say that is because of the cards that came out really just made it clear to me. With the moon card, this is very much the 12th house energy where secrets are revealed. The moon is where we're seeing the subconscious and the habitual actions play out, and we're starting to illuminate and understand them more clearly. And so there's some subconscious motivations and reasons why you are, Page of Pentacles in reverse, procrastinating or not progressing with something. And this Four of Swords is almost like you taking some time out to kind of figure out why, like process by journaling and maybe meditating or praying and reflecting on, why do I feel like I'm not progressing? Why do I feel like I'm not getting as much done? Whatever that looks like for you. But there's a sense of you guys being kind of like in your room and taking some time to connect with yourself or your guides and question, why are things not where I want them to be? Or why am I not taking action for them to be where I want them to be in some area of my life? This is going to be different for all of you. Maybe some of you will be work. Some of you might be growing your family. Some of you might be in something small, like, eating salads every day or going to the gym. So maybe that's not that small, but you know what I'm saying. There's a facet of your life where I feel like you might be kind of pushing the brakes. Even if you're taking action, there's maybe an emotional or energetic pushing of the brakes that comes from an internal like misalignment, where you have maybe some cognitive dissonance. Maybe you think that you want something, but then emotionally or energetically you doubt that you can have it. And so there's some dissonance there that's slowing things down, creating friction, creating resistance, and making it harder to truly just see progress in real life. And so I feel like what you guys are going to come into awareness of is what is happening for you mentally that is causing this delay. And the reason I say that is because this moon is making a square to Pluto in the 3rd house. And wherever Pluto is in Aquarius right now, which is for you in the 3rd house, is where we have some kind of disconnect, where we are kind of like dissociating, or we are not fully aware of like our participation in this area of our life. And we have maybe put it on the back burner of like, okay, I'm going to address that later, or I don't even know that's happening. I'm focusing on this, so I'm not seeing this. So basically what I think is happening here with this moon squaring Pluto in your 3rd is that there are ways in which your mindset or your way of speaking about things is tripping you up and causing some kind of dissonance within you that is, again, creating procrastination, creating delays and resistance in general. So ultimately, I feel like you are going to, again, feel what I encourage you to do, I should say, at the time of this full moon is to explore any ways that you have been disconnected from your own mind and have been maybe on autopilot or haven't been questioning yourself or really like aware of your own thoughts and maybe how they've been skewing in one direction. Another way that you could be disconnected is from your own sense of curiosity and playfulness, this kind of openness. If you have a very specific idea of how you want things to be and you want to have a sense of control and you want to feel like, I want this done by this date and this time, there might be a lot about the situation that's actually quite out of your hands. Or if it's in your hands, it's almost like, I mean, I'm sure it's some level of co-creation, right? Where some of it's in our hands and some of it is divine. And I think that ultimately, if we are so fixated and rigid about where and how and when things should be done, we don't leave a lot of space for the curiosity and the process and the unfolding that the third house wants us to have. There's usually some kind of learning lesson that we get through not having things go our exact way and instead having to figure out how to adapt and mold and kind of move through things differently. So I feel like there's something in your life where again, you might feel like you didn't make as much progress with it on it, and you are becoming aware of maybe where you could enhance your life by asking more questions rather than trying to have the answers and trying to have expectations and deadlines and pressure. There's, again, this feeling of like, yeah. Okay, so sorry. I'm like looking at my notes, so I'm getting distracted by myself. The other thing that you could be disconnected from, because the third house has lots of meanings, so I'm listing all of them out, and one of them hopefully will land for you. You might feel more disconnected from your siblings. The third house is our siblings. And so you might feel like this area of your life is just something that you haven't really addressed in a while. Like you've, again, put it on the back burner, and now you're realizing that you need to confront this. Like, okay, my siblings and I haven't really felt like we've been on good terms, or we haven't been talking, or they've been struggling and I haven't acknowledged it. Whatever that is, there's something where it's like we need to address this so that things can feel like they are flowing again. Because I really feel that there's something psychically weighing you down that can lead you to kind of delay things, or that can lead you to feel just heavier or more confused, or just feeling like there's baggage or things that are not processed. And really the 12th house is a lot of that. It's like the things from the past, the things that weigh in our subconscious that influence us in ways that we don't even fully have awareness of. And this issue, either with your siblings or with your, need for things to be a certain way at a certain time, or for your own like type of thoughts. There's something about one of those three things that I feel ultimately is kind of gunking up your psychic energy, gunking up your subconscious, and ultimately doing you a disservice in some facet or another. And often we will find that these things kind of protrude within our dreams. Like they try to like pop out at us and show us themselves through symbolism or through projection in your relationships with other people. You might notice that these things happen, or you might notice that situations just arise that kind of draw out these emotions and experiences to the surface at this time. So once you are able to face and deal with those things, you'll notice again that you kind of like clean the street that you're on, and you're able to walk forward. You're able to feel healthy and happier and more aligned. And ultimately, I think for many of you, this very much will help in terms of your emotional life, your home life, and your family life, and your relationship with your family members, because the ruler of this full moon is Mars, and Mars is conjunct Neptune in Pisces in your fourth house of family. So basically what I feel like is that when you're doing some of this work around maybe your relationship with your siblings or your own mindset, and why am I not moving forward things? Why am I not curious anymore? Why do I feel like I have all these expectations? When you're exploring all of that, you're going to go back a lot to your family, and you're going to realize maybe this comes from my origin story. Maybe this has roots and a history. Maybe this runs deep. Maybe I can do emotional healing around my connection with my past and my family members. Maybe there's a way that I can find greater emotional stability in my life as a result of truly clearing up this stuff and making sure that it's not haunting me moving forward. And as you do that, as you kind of heal and create that stability for yourself emotionally, you will notice that things within your kind of day-to-day life and work and routine, again, pick up the pace. And that's because this Mars and Neptune conjunction is sextiling Jupiter and Uranus in your 6th house. So it's like once you're doing that kind of spiritual, energetic, emotional work within your psyche, within your history and your home and your family, it automatically translates naturally into what your kind of more material world looks like. Because again, it's almost like we're trying to, it's like if we'd never changed the oil in our car and the oil got really, really dirty, and then we're trying to keep pushing and moving things ahead practically, but it's like we're never cleaning the thing up. And so that's kind of what you're doing, is you're cleaning up the oil of your mind, of your heart, of your family, and that is going to create this progress within your work. It's going to create more freedom and excitement and movement and stimulation within your day-to-day life, and as well as health. If you've been having health stuff going on, this could very much create some kind of breakthrough with your health, because there might be something that was kind of weighing you down psychologically that actually was maybe causing some physical symptoms or something to arise. So whatever it is, if it's work, if it's your routine, or it's your health, something about those areas is going to start moving like the flowing water again when you sit down and address some of these emotional experiences that you're having. The last thing I want to mention, actually, I also got this Empress and the Queen of Swords. So this to me is very much like the word that came to mind, or the words that came to mind with this when I pulled them, was knowing how to get that bag. Because the Empress is a card of abundance, and the Queen of Swords is a card of clarity and this kind of inner knowing and trusting of your own intuition and instinct about things. And so having these paired together, I feel like you are gaining some kind of discernment on how to create this sense of natural giving and receiving, how to create flow. But the way to do that is through the Queen of Swords energy, which has this kind of truthfulness and this boundaries. The Queen of Swords can be kind of bitchy too. So maybe there's some of you who need to have a hard conversation or make a difficult choice, or set a clear boundary with yourself or with another person. But there's a sense of this kind of, I'm very clear, I'm communicating clearly, I'm clearing up my mind as well. And that creates this level of unity rather than the cognitive dissonance. And that creates the flow of abundance that happens from the Empress, where things, again, feel like they come to us quite easily. We energetically want them, we put energy towards it, and then it comes to us because we're not fighting it or resisting it with that extra gunk in the way. The last thing I'll mention is that there is this pile up of planets called a stellium in Aries, the North Node in Aries, Mercury retrograde in Aries, Chiron in Aries, Venus in Aries, all together in your 5th house, which is very much concentrated around children and creativity, authenticity, confidence, personal expression. And so this is also a really important area of your life right now where there is a lot of focus. And so I think that ultimately, I just wanted to mention that you're probably feeling a lot of energy going there. And that is encouraged to kind of pursue things that are around those topics. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Sagittarius. If this resonates, I'd love to hear your comments down below. I am going to start offering 2 different types of readings. A fertility reading, so if you're wanting to get pregnant, which you have this 5th house energy, and you're wanting to know when's the best time, what should I understand about my fertility, my partner's fertility, looking at compatibility stuff, definitely book that type of reading with me. And then the other one is a medical astrology reading. So if you have some kind of illness or some issue that has been coming up and you feel like the doctors haven't helped you, or you want just additional spiritual and astrological insight, then that can be very helpful to have a health reading. So I will link those down below. And if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, subscribe, and have a beautiful day. Bye.